one of the elements when you're thinking about that cost, and so kind of another piece from the IT Trends report, and so we'll go ahead and kind of add a link to that in the chat for all the folks listening in. One of the pieces that was interesting so far, we'll kind of see how the macro environment kind of develops and evolves as we've seen it unfold, is that inflation in particular has been hitting a lot of budgets pretty hard because a majority of budgeting is kind of tied up now within more licensing costs. When you think about all the different applications, things that people are doing, it's less of an on-prem, but the things that they want to get into, the things that the areas and so all of those costs are rising. However, kind of more from a recession standpoint, businesses in general are still kind of humming along. I don't think that Main Street has quite hit it as much as Wall Street has seen it so far. But I'm curious from your perspective, are you seeing the same things kind of when looking at across or kind of forecasting a little bit for next year, kind of adding in a little bit more of a buffer either from inflation or kind of pricing adjustments that you're predicting, kind of across all the different vendors that you're working with?
We have a vendor who got acquired 3 or 4 years ago, and every year after the first year they've raised their prices between 10 and 15%, and so even if they don't do it, we factor in the 10 to 15% price increase. A Slack recently raised their prices, for example, and they gave us a heads up months. I don't even think it's in effect until the beginning of the year. So they gave us a heads up months in advance. So it was easy for that. But the vendors that do it last minute, it's hard. So we kind of just throw an extra 10, 15% on top of whatever the end number or final number is and just go off of that. And if we're under it, sweet. If we're above it, sometimes it happens. And by sometimes, I mean every single year since I've started, actually. I had our accountant tell me I needed to rein in our hosting costs, and I was like, I can do it, but we're gonna have clients without websites if I do that. So that was a pretty quick end to that conversation.
There's an impact to that for sure. Rob, is that a kind of a similar mental tax you're thinking about for next year?
Yeah, being a smaller company, I get to keep it kind of simple. I already budget 25% of the cost of all of our hardware to replace every year, but we don't gotta replace it every year. And fortunately, I don't use it or lose it, so I get to roll that into next year's budget and the year after that. So I always have X amount left over, so
buffer.
it increases. Yeah. And of course, oh, they suddenly change the amount this is costing this, for the next 12 months. Well, I've got the money for that, and we can adjust that, and I get to keep it around there. 20%. I replace the equipment on a 5-year cycle is what I expect, because that's generally how long Macs lasts. So I base everything kind of around that. 5% unexpected equipment add replacement, you get your 25%. But that's not going to work for a lot of companies. Listen, I'm lucky. Small business, I get to keep it simple, stupid, which is good because I was not that good at math. So.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.